I just bought this Freightliner Cascadia and I made all of my money back literally in 1 week. And in this video, I'm gonna show you step-by-step total process of where I bought it from, how much I paid for it, and how I made all of my money back in 1 week. So stay tuned to the video. All right, so here I am to deliver on the promise that I said I was going to give you. Once again, my name is Marco Perkins with Trucking the Cash Flow. And in this video, I'm going to break down specifically step by step, where did we purchase the truck, how much we purchased the truck for, and how I actually made all of the money, or a little bit more, a little bit less, in 1 week, literally 7 days of work pulling loads. So let's get straight into it. First things first, I know a lot of people is wondering, well, how much did you pay for the truck? Where did you get the truck from? What kind of truck is it? How many miles? All this type of stuff. So let's just start with that. It's a 2012, 2013, basically was made at the end of the year of 2012. So depending on how you look it up, it'll either be a 2012 or 2013. Let's just go with 2012. Doesn't matter, right? It has 1,040,000 miles on it, right? It's a 10-speed manual transmission. It's a very, very clean truck. As you can see in the video, it's pretty clean, as it is to me anyway, right? Y'all know I make these videos to show y'all that this can be done in real life. A lot of guys will tell you need to go buy a $100,000 truck or go get financing or whatever like that. They have another video on my channel when I purchased a truck for about $4,000, put another couple grand in it, and literally made about 70, 80 grand before the head gasket blew. And the only reason why that done that is because the driver literally forgot to put water in it. That's it. But it was a fairly decent truck and it cash flowed, right? Just like the name of the channel, Trucking to Cash Flow. And remember, cash flow is the most important thing. So back to this truck, right? So this truck, like I said, is a 2012 Freightliner Cascadia, one of my favorite trucks. It's a 10-speed manual, double bunk, had 1,040,000 miles on it. We picked up the truck out of Fort Myers or something. It's right around Tampa Bay, Florida, somewhere down there, okay? Got it on Facebook. I've been looking on Facebook and what is that? Truckpaper.com for trucks, all right? And they had one in Nebraska that I was looking at, an International 9400i. For those of you who watch my channel, y'all know that the 9400i International is my favorite truck with the Cummins, right? That is my favorite truck. Second favorite is a Freightliner Cascadia, but I prefer to get the Cascadias because drivers actually loves to drive the Cascadias. Most of the time, drivers don't really care about let's say the horsepower or the durability of the truck. They mostly want to be comfortable. So Freightliner Cascadia versus the International 9400i, which would be a 2005, 2006, 2007 International versus a 2012 all the way up to 2020, whatever, Cascadia. Of course, the Cascadia is going to ride better. It's going to feel better. The turning radius is better. It's more comfortable, right? So I lean more to the Cascadias because we put drivers in the trucks. But my personal favorite as an owner-operator truck will be the International, okay? But the Freightliner has the DD15 in it. If you're going to get one of these Freightliners, make sure you get the DD15 or the Cummins in it. Either one is great. The Cummins might have a little bit more power, while the DD15s might have better fuel mileage. Just all depends, right? I like both, okay? If I go with the International 2005, 2006, 2007 International 9400i, I'm going to look more for the Cummins, which those have the Detroits and the cat's in them, I probably would stay away from the cat if possible. Anyway, so I was looking at a international that was up in Nebraska, and I was looking at another one international that was up in Dallas. But I found this truck once again on Facebook, and I was talking to the guy. We went back and forth, told him some things. He told me some things. He sent me some videos. I seen that he wasn't really playing around. I said, hey, look, man, just give me some time to get down there. I promise I'm going to get the truck, right? So he did that. He actually marked it sold before I even got there because I basically told him that I was serious. He took me to be serious. I took him to be serious. So I actually pulled the load down there. So I got down there and got paid to go down there to pick up the truck because, as y'all know, I have the RGN trailer, and I went and picked up the truck myself. So I actually paid myself. I didn't have to pay nobody. But let's get into the actual numbers of what the truck costs, how much I invested in it to get it on the road, and then what loads did we run to basically make all our money back in 1 week, all right? So the truck cost, right, it was listed on Facebook for $10,000, all right? I didn't pay $10,000. Not saying that it wasn't worth $10,000, but I just didn't pay $10,000, all right? I negotiated him down to $7,000, right? Literally $7,000. That's it. And when I showed up, for some reason, I was $10 short. So I gave him $6,990 cash. Okay. Then we did actually I need to add that to the cost. The notary fee was about $40. So let's add that, right? $40 notary, right? I forgot about that. We did an online notary on a computer, so you can, do a bill of sale, because in the state of Louisiana, all you need is a bill of sale and a notarized bill of sale and a copy of the license, and you can transfer the title, right? The truck had a clean title, no salvage, no nothing like that, no lien holder, so it was good on that. But yeah, so I gave him $6,000, $6,990, right, for the truck, cash up front. So once again, I got paid to go down there. I think the load came from Louisiana to Florida, and it paid like $4,700, $4,800 to drop off a load in Florida to go pick up the truck. Now, I'm not going to include that in the expenses or got paid or anything like that, just to not throw the numbers off. But if I want to add that into it, I actually made more money back in return to go get the truck and run the truck and all that. But I'm not going to add that in there, right? So let's just go with what we invested into the truck to get it to start cash flowing, because that's what it's about. You want to look at how much are you going to put out on a truck when you go buy it, and how fast can you get your money back. I'm going to tell you what my goal is and what I shoot for, right? When I buy these cash trucks, these lower amount cash trucks, right? Which I probably would not pay anything over 10 to 15 grand cash for a truck. 15 probably would be my max. Anything over that, I would just finance it so I can hurry up and get it cash flowing. I'll break that down. Why do I do it like that in another video? But I've been doing it like that for years, and it works. I found the system that works, so I just keep repeating it and doing it over and over and over again. All right. So out-of-pocket expense was $6,990 for the truck itself. Okay. Once we gave that to him, then of course we gave $40 for a notary, and I'm gonna add all this up at the end. Then we did $300 of fuel costs on the way back. All right. Also, I got to add something else now that I'm thinking about it. To run the truck back was $300 in fuel. I drove the truck myself and brought it back, so I didn't have to pay nobody because I paid myself, right? And then we spent $140, right? Let's just go with $140 for a permit, for oversized permit. because I didn't feel like letting all the air out the tires to make the truck lower. So uh, we went with $140 in a permit. All right, so we're just gonna mark that. Okay, for oversized permit, right? Okay, then we spent $150 on a transfer, title transfer. Okay, once we got it back to Louisiana, went to the title transfer people. They gave me a title, a transfer, and I got the title in my business name, and that's how you do that, right? Uh, FYI, just right quick, none of this is financial advice or full disclosure, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business and handle your money, and this is not legal advice or anything like that. I'm just telling you how I done mine and how we run our business. That's it. Okay, so then went on ahead from there and put up $380 for cab airbags, cab shocks, and a tire change. All right. The front tire was a little suspect. I probably could have made it, kept going with it or whatever, but I didn't. I just went on ahead and changed it because it was looking a little suspect or whatever, right? Then put it, got some cleaning supplies, $60 for some cleaning supplies. Cleaned the truck out, got it ready to roll. I parked the other truck, which is the 579 Peterbilt, got that ready for a driver. Me, myself, I drove this truck. I try to, especially older trucks like this, got a little miles on them, probably been sitting up a while. I like to drive these trucks myself so I can, any little issues happen, it'll happen on me. I work through it, get it to work right, and then I'll put a driver in the truck, right? That's typically how I like to do it, okay? So once I ran the load in the truck on the very first load, got up there, which I'm gonna tell you in a minute what loads we ran, how much we got paid, and all that. Which is crazy. I got about 10 miles up, not even 10 miles, about 6 miles up the road, pulling the load. Now I drove the truck. Truck drove fine in Florida on a test drive. I, tested everything. Make sure it didn't have a blown head gasket as far as I can see. Nothing coming out the exhaust pipe. I look at the blow by. I did my tests, to make sure there's no pressure on the reservoir, the coolant reservoir. All of my tests that I normally do, right? And the reason why I know this is because I bought trucks in the past that had issues. I didn't know how to test a truck, and I got burned, literally. But I've done all that. So the test drive, it worked fine. And then I drove it around in Louisiana for a little while. It drove fine. So now here I am pulling the load. It's about 3 in the morning. I get on I-12. I'm about 5 miles from the yard. Truck said that it's the engine stopped, come on. Please pull over. And it kept cutting off. And I'm like, wow, here we go. I don't know what's going on, but hey, kind of find out basically it was the coolant sensor that goes into the reservoir. It just went bad, basically. So I just went on YouTube, looked up some stuff. I unplugged it, truck ran fine, got on about my business, kept on going. So I paid right at I think it was like $60, $70 for that, right? Let's just say 60, right? Then got it up the road once again on the first load, which is the first load was going to Houston, which we're going to go over that in a second. Got up there to Houston. The brakes started acting crazy, right? Started leaking. So the brakes kept popping out on the truck. And basically it just was a main valve. So I did that, right? That was $135 parts and labor. So all in all, total investment, right? Let's add this up. We have $6,990 for the truck, plus $40 for the notary to get it, get the notarized bill of sale online. Then we have another $300 for fuel costs on the way back. Then we have $140 on a permit, oversized permit. Then we have $150 on the title transfer. Then we have 380 for the airbag, shocks, and a tire change. Because I already had a tire at the yard that I had off another truck. So, you know, that was all good on that. Then I have 135 on an air valve that went bad. Then I have $60 for the cooling valve, cooling sensor, which I'm going to change that. That's simple. Then we have another $60 for cleaning supplies, right? So total, we have total investment with everything. Purchasing the truck, getting on the road, from sitting on side the road. The guy said the truck sat for a year. From basically from Facebook to making money, we have right at $8,255 total investment. All right, that's what we got. All right, total investment $8,255. Okay, now that's cash out of pocket. What we put out there to start making money. Now, there's some other things I did. I put some ramps on it or whatever, but I didn't need that to make money. I put some ramps on the back of the truck, which was $430. I done that for, you know, the RGN trailer, whatever like that. I didn't add that to this is because you don't need it. And once again, you don't need it. I didn't need it. I could have kept running the truck like that. It's just something extra. I put it on any truck that I'm hooked up to RGN. I put it on there for a couple of different reasons. There's some other things that I'm gonna have to do, like get a 2290, get plates and all that type of stuff. I didn't want to add that in here because that price can change depending on the state, depending on what year you get it, depending if you're leasing on versus not leasing on, all that. But just to get the truck to run and hit the road, this is all I invested. I didn't do anything else. Nothing. I just added to the RRP account on a temporary plate, start rolling, didn't get a 2290 or nothing. All right. Now, we're start rolling. What loads did we run, right? Let me turn this over. What loads did we run? Okay. Well, to start making money back, to start generating cash, because remember, everything is about cash flow, right? Generating cash. Okay. So the very first load, we done a St. Gabriel, Louisiana to Houston, Texas, which paid $1,575, all right? And we're going to add this up as we go. Y'all pull out y'all calculator and add this up, right, as we go along, okay? 1,575. This is gross pay to the truck, all right? Then from Houston, we sat around a day, got the issue fixed with the air valve, and I got some work done on the trailer as well because I need some work done on the trailer. And then I also got the ramps on the truck, right? So we skipped the day, didn't work, basically took the day off. The next day, we ran a load from Galveston, Texas to Spanish Fort, Alabama, right? Not the best load, but it's something to get out of Texas and keep the wheels rolling, to keep the cash flow going. All right, so that was 1,700. So we're gonna add that up, 1,771 and 61 cents. The reason why is that odd number is because they reimburse for permits. All right. Then out of Spanish Fort, Alabama, you know, took a little break, sat around a while and got something to eat, got some coffee, you dig? And then went on ahead and booked a load from Gulfport, Mississippi. It was raining, to go up to Shreveport, Louisiana, right? And that paid $1,800. All right. Don't remember the miles, anything. I got it in my phone. I'll do it when I do my end of the month market update video. I will, you know, let y'all know the mileage and all this type of stuff. All right. So now we had 5,146 for the week. Then we sat around a day on that one, didn't get a reload, and got a reload the next day, which was a Friday. And went on ahead and picked up a load from Baton Rouge, Louisiana to Atlanta, Georgia, which is a bit of a dead hit, right? So at that, that's plus $2,000. All right. So total, right? total net profit, we have 7,000. And when I say net profit, meaning gross, gross, right? I'm not going to get into how much fuel and all that and whatever. I'm showing you, this is what we made in a week, which is, let me fix this, which is $7,146.61. Okay? That's how much the truck grossed, all right? Now, depending on who you are, how much how fast you run, and how much, you're buying fuel for, and how much your trailer is, and how much you pay your driver, if you're driving it yourself and all that, that's going to determine what is your net profit out of that. So I'm not going to go to net profit. We're going to keep it with the gross, all right? If you're leased on versus if you're under the own authority, all of these type of things, right? But literally in 1 week, we made $7,146, right? And 61 cents. Okay. Well, if that's the case, total investment was 8,255, right? We're going to subtract the 7,146.61. So literally, we have $1,100 left. $1,108.39 left, right? So basically, at this point, after 1 week of working, we only have $1,108 totally invested into the truck so far. We almost made all of their money back in 1 week. But if we want to just look at, did we make the money back for what we paid for the truck in 1 week? Yes, we did. The truck only cost $6,990. We made $7,146. So we paid the truck off. We just had other knick-knack stuff to invest in the truck, just like any other business. But per what the truck cost, right, we made that back. That money's like, we got that back in a week, right? Now, net for net, that was gross. Net for net, what you want to shoot for, my goal is to shoot for making the money back in 30 days, right? I try my best to, if I go spend money on a truck, cash money, which is going to, with trucks like this, I want to make it back in 30 days, 90 days max. All right. Now, and that's if you're driving a truck yourself and your own operator, okay? 30 to 90 days max, okay? If we go to 30 days, well, we're only $1,100 in the hole. You keep running the truck for another 3 weeks, right? I'm pretty sure we're going to make $1,000 over the next 3 weeks. Y'all know this already, right? Y'all watch the videos. Y'all know what type of money we're making over here. So you know this is real. All right. Now, if, let's say, we do the 30 to 90 day cashback model, right? That's pretty cool, cashback model. I like that. I'm gonna coin that. We can scale the business over time and basically buy a cash truck every 90 days, right? All you gotta do, predicated that the engine doesn't blow out or anything like that. And that's why I'm saying, look to pay the truck off within 30 to 90 days. That way, even if something does major happen like that, within that time, once you get all your money back, you're not invested in the truck anymore. You basically got all your money back, right? So it's like, okay, cool, that happened. Just go get another one, sell it for parts, sell everything off the truck, and you're still gonna make a profit, right? Like, you're still gonna make a profit. I'm not gonna get totally into that right now, but 3 weeks from now, in 30 days, once again, in a week, we made $7,146. The truck only cost $6,990, right? If you, so we paid the truck off. We just got to work on paying all of the rest of the truck off, right? So with that being said, the reason why I wanted to specifically make this video is because I know a lot of guys out there, they have some cash sitting around. They want to buy a truck. They're trying to figure out what kind of truck to buy. You know, when should they buy a truck? Where should they buy a truck from? All these type of things. How many miles, whatever like this. This truck has 1,000,000 miles on it, right? This is not my first truck that I bought with 1,000,000 miles. This is probably my third truck with 1,000,000 miles, right? Any truck that I buy, typically that's gonna be under that $15,000 range, is gonna be under, close to around 700,000. I usually don't do 1,000,000 miles unless I get it for a very, very good price. And if it does have 1,000,000 miles, it has to look a certain way. The guy, the people has to have done a lot of work to the truck. Like this truck has 1,000,000 miles, but the radiator has already been changed. The clutch has already been changed. Some injectors, some stuff with the fuel pump. The DF has already been deleted. A lot of stuff has, been done to the truck, even though it has 1,000,000 miles on it, right? You don't want to buy a truck that has 1,000,000 miles and nothing's been done to it. You just don't want to, even if it has 700, 800,000 miles and hasn't had nothing done to it. You want to kind of stay away from that truck, right? But the truck run good. It just made us some money, so that's great, right? So with that being said, listen, right now is the time to buy trucks. Trucks are very low in price because a lot of people are getting out the business. They're going out of business. And this is when you need to be getting in the business, right? When everybody running from trucking, you need to be running to trucking. So with that being said, if you like the video, make sure you smash the like button. And if you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel, man. And tell me in the comments, how do you like the whiteboard setup situation? I like it, me myself, because I can kind of work better with this. Leave me a comment below if you want to see more breakdowns of loads and how I purchase trucks, what lanes I run, stuff like that, and how much money we're making over here at TBT Logistics. And I'll make more whiteboard videos like this, all right? So until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.